Hey, Bert Middleton one more time, powderskiingcolorado.com, and this time we're at the one and only Vail. Vail is massive. It's huge. If you've never been there before, you are in for, I think you're in for a real treat. I mean, it's a huge place. Very popular. That means it's busy. It's a busy place. And you'll find out why it's so busy, because there is so much ground to cover. So much great terrain. You know, I have to say, Vail is not my favorite spot because, you know, it's just like there's not that much steep stuff. You know, there's just a lot of wide open terrain, and if you hit it on a powder day, you're golden. You know, so the first thing that we have to look at here, I mean, this is like how big Vail is. They do their map, and they have, you know, horizontally alphabetical. You know, they do it alphabetically, and then they, you know, do it vertically in numbers. They grid the whole thing out like a Thomas guide. It's so damn big. So anyway, like what we usually do, I'm going to try to give you a good idea, especially here, about what to do about parking. And you know, it's not even like they really give us a good way to give me a good way with your map, with their map, to try to give you a good idea of what's going on with the parking situation. But here we are. We're coming in, say you're coming in from Denver on I-70. I-70 runs right along here. The first exit is East Vail. You don't want to take that one. The second exit is Vail, and you do want to take that one. If you go one more, there's another exit, and that's kind of like West Vail. So you want to take the Vail exit, and you're going to exit to the right. You're going to go under the highway, and you're going to pull right in here, and there's going to be a little road. Just follow the signs. You make it through one roundabout, and then under the highway, and then all 3/4 of the way around the other roundabout, and you go about a block back to the east, and there is a huge parking structure, just like being at the mall. So you park there, and then you walk all the way through Vail Village over here to the Vistabahn. Now the fun begins. So there's the parking is out of the way. So you get on the Vistabahn, and the Vistabahn takes you way in the hell up here. I mean, the Vistabahn in and of itself is a long ass chair. So you get off right there, and then you kind of go off to the left, and you're going to see these two chairs, and it gets a little bit confusing. And you might want to take, you know, this Wildwood Express, and it kind of takes you up over here, so that when you drop down the other side, you're in like Sunup Bowl or Sundown Bowl over that way, I think. But what I usually do is I take Mountaintop Express, and then from there you're dropping into Teacup Bowl, and we'll get into that in a minute, because that's a whole nother map. And then there's a whole nother map for way back here. Look at all that. See, that's Blue Sky Basin way back over there. It's like you go up the front, and then down, and then up again. So Vail is massive. It's huge. But look at this whole front side. I mean, look at how much skiing there is, how much riding there is. I mean, this whole front side, I mean, you could go down here and you could park. There's another parking space, another parking thing that's down this way. Like, I guess that's the parking structure, like right there. And you get out and you walk down here, and you can get on the gondola, the Eaglebahn gondola. You know, there's just a huge amount of blues and greens, and the whole front side of Vail is so completely cool. You know, there's this whole Game Creek Bowl, which is a whole nother area that, you know, has a lot of really great skiing all around there. The Game Creek chair is, you know, it's amazing how many chairlifts there are. But usually what I do is I go up to Vistabahn, then I go get on Chair 4, which is the Mountaintop Express, then I get up here. But if you wanted to stay on the front side, a cool thing to do is you kind of head off down this way. And there's some good black type stuff and some steep stuff. There's some really cliffy stuff all around in here that you can get into. And Prima Cornice, you know, there's a massive amount of really pretty hardcore skiing right in through there. But you get all the way down here, and this used to be chair 10. It's a new chair, and they call it the Highline Express because this, I've had friends that say Highline is the quintessential bump run. I mean, this thing has a steady drop. It's a double black, just a bumps. If you're into bumps, that's the place you got to go. That and Blue Ox over here. I mean, and this doesn't get as, everybody stays over in this part of Vail. Everybody's kind of hanging out over here. If you get over here, it's usually less crowded, and, you can find some elbow room, and, you can get some things done. You can get some turns made, as it were. So, that's kind of like just a quick look at the front side. And I got to hurry up and do this because I can't make an over 10-minute long video on YouTube. So we are going to cruise on back down to the next little map here, which I think I'm going to see. It's all gridded out too. But now here's the back bowl. So I'm going to go right here and I'm going to pump it up for you a little bit. Okay, now then, see if you got off of, alright, so you get off of chair 4, it's like right there, or the Wildwood chair is like over here. So you can drop into Sundown Bowl or Sun Up Bowl, but it seems like everybody else is way more into like where this Teacup Express lift is. All of these bowls right here, Emperor's Choice, off of the Orient Express lift, Gorky Park and Rasputin's Revenge, and all of those. That's where I head. Rasputin's Revenge, that's my favorite run. That one and this one, Genghis Khan. There's this whole big cornice right here that you can kind of drop off of. I mean, it's actually a pretty hairy looking thing. So lots of good steep stuff right in through here that drops you down into the Orient Express, or you can swing around and get back down to the Teacup. I've been on all of these lifts and I've skied all of this, but for whatever reason, it doesn't seem like these bowls are as popular as China Bowl and Siberia Bowl. So let's cruise over here just a little bit because I want to show you this part. You can do all of this stuff if you make it over here. Then you hit this little thing. It's like a palma, and you get way further over here to Inner and Outer Mongolia Bowl. So the further you go off to that side, I mean, it gets tracked out, and there's a lot of people that make it over there. But all of this stays much more highly trafficked. I mean, on a powder day, it's like there's a big the whole lineup, the whole crowd is down there at the bottom of the Vistabon and all of those chairs, and then the crowd comes up and it drops over, and then the crowd ends up at the bottom of all these chairs before. And right now it's as if we're on Blue Sky Basin looking back at the bowls, and the front side's back over the other side there. So you want to make it over here, and you want to get on this Palma, and you want to go check out these Inner and Outer Mongolias. But the thing that I haven't done yet that I want to do, I got to hire a guide to go do this because it looks nasty as you're coming in from I-70 looking off. You kind of like hike up this way and you drop into East Vail, and you can see it from I-70 as you're coming into Vail. Big, steep, slide chutes, and there's all kinds of stuff. People die over there. So anyway, you don't want to die. So anyway, you get to the bottom of this, and then now you're going to get on like this Skyline Express or Pete's Express, and let's go look at that. And we'll be looking at it as if we were like standing over here looking straight at us. So here's the map of the Blue Sky Basin. So there it is, Skyline Express, this Lover's Leap. There's a lot of good stuff in here. A lot of good glade skiing. If you hit this on a powder day, this is a good place to go because, on a powder day, it's like everybody spreads out over the front side. Then everybody attacks all the back bowls. Then everybody starts to make it up this side. But, so many people don't even make it this far. So there's a lot of good, steep, deep, you can like really get into, heavy metal and Little Ollie and Iron Mask and all of that. And, Then you want to make it over here to Pete's Express, and you can rip around through all of this stuff. And then what's really cool, and I've only done this a few times, is you kind of like drop in somehow through all of these trees and make it back over here to the bottom of the lift. So anyway, that is Blue Sky Basin. Here is the back bowls, and here is the front side. And I'm going to pump this down again so we can see more of it. But I mean, look at that. I mean, this is one spectacularly huge Mondo gigantic ski area. So here's the front side. Like, here's all the front side stuff. And then you drop over into the back bowls. And then you go to the bottom of that, and then you go up Blue Sky Basin. So that's Vail. You know, I've skied at Vail quite a bit, but I mean, it would take years to really be like fully on top of everything, you know, all of the secret places to go in Vail. So if you want to share, if you've been there, if you know what it's all about, come back to the video, leave a comment on the video, or go to the blog, leave a video there. Share the love, let everybody know what you know, and just tell us how cool it was when you were there. So thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next one.